as always, if you want to make a liberal's head explode, talk about overturning Roe v. Wade. Well, good afternoon. I want to welcome you to my latest YouTube video. So I hope you're doing well today, and as always, if you have not subscribed to my channel, go ahead and click the subscribe button below. If you want to make a comment as well, there's a section for the comments. It's good to see you. If you're new to the channel, just like to share some of my thoughts on different topics, whether it be in the news or just things that I enjoy, whether it's sports or music, whatever it might be. But today I wanted to talk about a more serious topic, though. If you've been watching the news the past couple of days, there's been, it wasn't an official story yet, but someone had leaked a story that the Supreme Court might be voting on a draft to overturn Roe versus Wade. And so what they would do is, if this goes through, they would overturn it and would let the individual states decide if abortion is legal or not legal. So, as always, if you want to make a liberal's head explode, talk about overturning Roe v. Wade, because that's exactly what is happening. They are just losing their minds, just talking about now they're going to go against gay marriage. They're going to bring segregation back into the schools. I don't know what that has to do with abortion, but all right. I guess the Democrats don't really make much sense these days, but it's interesting to me because let's just follow the logic here for a minute. What was it, a couple months ago, as they voted on the newest Supreme Court justice, they asked her, can you explain what a woman is? And she said, I can't define that. I'm not a biologist. But now, all of a sudden, it's interesting that now women, even Kamala Harris, the vice president, has spoke up and said, wait a minute, we can't overturn Roe v. Wade. This goes against women's rights. But I thought we couldn't define what a woman was. Now we're going against women's rights. Isn't that interesting? And also, when they say, well, I'm not a biologist, but they're awfully quick to try to define what a baby is and what is defined that a baby that should be aborted or killed. In my opinion, that's what it is. And even the Democrats are saying this is attacking people. And I think, wait a minute, we are saving millions of babies' lives. It's been like 65 million babies aborted since the start of Roe versus Wade. So we are ultimately saving lives, and it just always shocks me that people will go to such extremes to defend aborting babies. I never thought we'd get to a point in time when people would become so upset about the topic of abortion. We even hear that argument. I even heard it last night, someone on the news, I forget who it was. Well, I'm pro-life, but there's certain situations that it's okay to have an abortion. And I think you're either pro-life or you're not pro-life. And they say, what happens when a woman is raped and has a baby? Well, if you look at the statistics, that happens about 2% of the time. So they're worrying about something that more than likely is not happening. And we hear it all the time. It's a woman's right to choose. Not really. There's a baby in your body, and you made that choice to make that baby. And now you have to be responsible for that baby. If you can't keep it, there are so many people and couples in our country and around the world that would be honored to be able to raise a child that aren't able to. This whole thing is just sad to me when you go on Facebook and you read abortion is healthcare. No, it's not. That is a lousy excuse, and we need to stand up and be pro-life. And now those who are pro-life, we're going to still be fighting an uphill battle. Let's be honest, because there's been so much pushback and it's going to be a thing where now it's up to the states, which mean we as citizens will have more of a say so in who we vote for, and that'll affect the laws that make abortion legal or not legal. And so this news is a step in the right direction for the pro-life cause, and we're all of a sudden I'm seeing so much discussion about why abortion is okay and it's not, and that we as the church need to really stand up. And a lot of people say, well, Christians should have nothing to do with politics or voting, and that's completely false, because we need to use our vote to vote for, whether it's a senator, governor, whoever you're voting for, to vote for those who are pro-life. And so it's not really funny, but just watching what the Democrats are doing, they're just so upset. And this really comes back to it is a political issue, but ultimately this is about living in a world that's fallen, that's broken. There's sin in the world, and it doesn't even come down to Democrats. It's just about sin in this world and people that want to push God out of everything, that devalue human life. And it's sad, in my opinion, where our culture is at. I think if we kept God in the schools, if we kept prayer in the schools, we would not be in the mess that we're in. So many wonder why we're in such a downhill slide as a country morally. It's because of God. The biggest problem in our lives is sin, and we live in a culture where people are so upset about repealing Roe versus Wade and so many things, and it's just a fact. It is sin. I know we don't want to recognize that always as a culture, but the sooner we come back to God, because this is really a God thing. But we need to be praying for our country. I do pray that Roe versus Wade would be overturned. I pray that states would make legislation to protect the lives of those who are unborn. But we like to call things a different name. We call it abortion, but it's murder. That's all that it is, plain and simple. And as a pastor, as a Christian, that doesn't mean that I don't care about women or care about the choices that they've made. I do, and really, abortion is something that affects a woman. I'm sure that loss that's going to affect a woman's life the rest of her life, and there are other choices. There are other options. I know there is a place just near us. They're called Choices Pregnancy Center, where women can go and have an ultrasound, and there's care for them to try to encourage them to keep their baby, to give it up for adoption. But there are other options than abortion. There are other choices out there, and as people that are pro-life, we need to stand up for what is right. So just wanted to share my thoughts on Roe v. Wade. It's something that's been dear to my heart. I just believe as Christians and as the church, we can't be silent any longer. We need to stand up and say, no, this is wrong. So hope you have been challenged by this video. If you want to comment and any discussion you might want to add to this. I know some of these thoughts might seem controversial, and they will be as I share this video, but we can't back down. We can't shy away from these issues. We need to point people in the direction of Jesus and the hope that we have in him. So God bless you. Once again, subscribe, comment, share this video if you'd like, and I will see you again soon here on my YouTube channel.